Once you take the cover off, this is the back of the head. First thing you want to do is take this little screw out right here. Oops. When it's on the head and it's sitting sturdy on the head, it's easier to do. But when it's sitting loose on a table like this, I got to hold on to it with one hand. Okay. Once you get that little screw out of there, all you got to do, and don't drop it, man, because it's a little bitty screw, believe me. It's got a washer behind it. Okay. So just take that, set it some very secure place. Then reach down here and take these two screws out right here. Loosen them both up. I can spin it off a little faster with two hands when it's on the head. When it's sitting here on the table, got to hold it with one hand. Anyways, you take those two screws out, set them aside. Then you take the head and tip it forward. Okay? Like I said, when it's on the head, it's a little bit easier. But it comes off like that. Just tip it forward and it comes off. Has a little thing right here that catches on the front. When you go to put it back on, you set it back on and you make sure that it slides up underneath there, and then it goes back down like that. When it comes back off, you got to slide it back and it comes back off. Alright? Once you take that off, all you got to do is come over here and take these three screws out. They're kind of tight, some of them. Don't need them quite that tight. See? Well, that's a brand new head too. One of them was a little looser than the other ones. And they all should have been evenly down. But once you take them out, like I said, if I can use two hands, I can get this done a little bit faster. Okay. Then you take that cover off. Then to replace all the seals, all you got to do is pull this center piece out. Just like this. Okay. Now all these rings come out. They go over that like that. Oh, that you couldn't see. I was doing that a little bit wrong when I put it back together. Now you're taking and pull all these rings out, every one of them, all the way down the bottom. There's a spacer in between each one. Now, one thing about it, when you go to put these all back in, the new ones, this bottom one is tricky sometimes. And you'll think you have it all the way down, and you don't. And when you put them all the way back in, that's why you want to put them, the rubber spacer first, just like this, down inside it. Then you put the other piece, the plastic piece, then another rubber spacer, then the other plastic piece, okay? And you do it like that. It goes in pretty much that kind of easy and smooth. But what you got to watch out for, now if I didn't get that one on the bottom all the way down on the bottom, when this goes in, okay, it's got to go down far enough that this, when you put it back, oops, when you put this back on, it's got to be pushed down in there. And see, I didn't get that bottom one all the way down because you see that space in between there, right here. Okay. Oh, there's what I'm doing wrong. Okay, we got to do this a little bit better. Man, I'm gonna have to sit, cut and edit this. Heck no, I'm gonna start this over again. Let's see if I can get right here. Now when you get down to this part, you go ahead and pull the plunger out, just like that, with all the spacers. Make sure you get them all out. Sometimes it isn't that easy. Okay, every one of them, all the way down to the very bottom, to the last rubber spacer. Now, when you go to put them back in, put the rubber spacer first. Make sure it's all the way down to the bottom, because there's a little edge down there that it catches on sometimes, and if you don't go get it all the way down to the bottom, when you get to the end, you won't be able to get that plate on right. It'd be too far away. So you got to make sure you get that thing, feel it. Make sure that first plastic, when you put on that rubber, it's all the way down to that bottom. Okay. Then you take and put the other rubber seal and the other little plastic, see, and then goes on down just like that. Rubber and plastic all the way up to the top. Now, if they're all the way down and sealed, this should go on pretty easy. See, that looks like it goes down far enough. If it was not all the way down the bottom, you'd have a space probably in the front and top a little bit more like that. But see, that goes all the way down, so when this plate goes on, it'll be easy to go down when you put the screws in it. Just like that. Oops, almost lost the screws. See, and I'm telling you, when you're outside, you don't want to drop it, you don't want to lose them, so make sure that you secure them someplace. Okay, just put them all the way down. And that's it. And all you got to do then, it goes up and down pretty easy. And all you got to do is come and put your head back on there, click it back on, just like that. Now you want to get this back in the hole. Turn your thing around so you get it back in there, so you can put this little screw with the washer right back in there. Okay. And then put your last two back in here. Screw them on down, tighten them up, and you're ready to go. That's it. And if you ever have to change this little meter right here, and there's only a couple of screws right there, and a couple of wires to take loose. And that's all you got to do is just take it off and replace it. That's if you ever get a bad surge of electricity and blows it out. It's nice to have it on a little surge protector for sure. But if you don't, and it blows it out, but that's all you gotta do is a couple of screws and take a couple of wires loose, and that's it. Nothing to it. And replace it. But that's about the only thing you really ever have to do to this, but they still go a pretty long time with that little service. So if you have any questions, give me a call at 903-326-1103. That's 903-326-1103.